Okay, let's talk about Dallas. And yeah, I think they need to make a trade. It feels like this is something I've said before. Real quick, give me 20 seconds on the Jaylen Brown extension. I love Jaylen Brown. I don't care if that's a hot take. I think it was inevitable that he was going to get the max. I mean, he's 26 years old, all NBA, all star. Like, you're going to get the max. It's just how it goes in the NBA. Second apron stuff, I get his inconsistencies as a ball handler that sometimes look pretty ugly. He's still gotten a lot better at that throughout his career, trust me. Obviously, he's a bucket getter. And I understand the money is super high. I also think this was the best option they had. So anyway, yeah, on to Dallas. I think they got to beef up their center position, which I've definitely said that before. And I also think they could use like a really good all-around wing player. Although I do think Grant Williams will help him out in all areas of the floor. And I do want to talk about Josh Green's potential on offense because I do think there's something there. Eventually I'll talk about Luka and Kyrie and we'll get to the roster. But for these things, so today there was actually something from Brian Windhorst and Tim McMahon who said that Clint Capella's on the trade block. Now, I do think within that, it really is saying that the Hawks want Siakam and it would be some big multi-team trade and that whole spiel. But for Dallas's perspective, I mean, yeah, if they got Clint Capella, that'd be a home run. He's the perfect type of five for him. But I also think he's the perfect type of five for the Hawks, which is why if they were ever going to move him, it would not be for something small. Because his rim protection and also some switchability on defense and the lob threat and all of it, Capella's very good. Not just that, but also Dallas. They're not exactly loaded with trade assets. They've got more than nothing. Like, they do have some picks they can move in, like, the mid to later section of this decade. They've got a few shorter contracts that I think are tradable. They're not loaded, but they've got something. So whether Dallas can improve their center position immediately, I don't know. I mean, you look at the rest of it, you got Rashawn Holmes, who I do think can be solid for him. Like, I know he lost minutes in Sacramento with Sabonis there and everything, but, like, he's got a push shot that is actually pretty legit. And he's just shown some good general juice as just like a screen and dive guy. Like, I don't think he's going to be riding the bench for Dallas. I feel like I've said this like 15 times to Derek Lively at this point, but from what I saw in Summer League, I liked his IQ on defense, thought he looked good in drop coverage, thought his rotations were nice. Wasn't the biggest fan of the screen setting, but it's just a matter of, like, can you rely on him for 20 minutes a game, like, right now? I mean, Dallas would love to. I just don't know if it's realistic. Like, he's definitely going to get a shot. After that, you got McGee, who's still here, Dwight Powell, who, as we know, the defense, once they got Kyrie, was the weakness, which is why, rim protecting veteran five, duh. But they still have good defenders in this team. Look, I think I've said this in my one question for every West team video. I think Grant Williams is going to be the Swiss Army knife defensively for these guys, whether it's guarding guys much bigger than him, similar size to him, whatever. Josh Green's good on defense. Kleba is not flashy, but he's about as solid as you could ask for on both sides of the floor, especially when the jumpers fall in like that. Omax also projects highly defensively right away, similar to Lively. We'll see what the minutes right away for him. So I do think they can put lineups out there where there's three good defenders around Kyrie and Luka. The question then really becomes, like, are Kyrie and Luka good enough to where offensively the guys around them might not be great all the time, even if, like, Grant Williams can make an open jumper, Josh Green can work off the catch and stuff like that, but it's all good because Kyrie and Luka are just those dudes. I definitely think it's possible. And of course, you can put even more shooting out there around those two if you want to as well, with Hardaway, who as of right now is on the roster. I know he's in trade rumors a little bit, whatever. Seth Curry as well. And by the way, I'll get to Jaden Hardy in a minute. As far as Kyrie and Luka playing off of each other, I mean, yeah, them screening for each other in either instance where it's like Kyrie can pop or it's Luka can like force a switch and then get into the post. Yes, the ceiling on that is probably massive. They didn't tap into it that much last season. Hopefully they just do it more. Like, the little time they did do it, the numbers on it for both ways were really good. And as far as Luka, I mean, sure, there's always going to be the thing of, is he in the best shape he possibly can be going into the season and all that stuff? Is he going to be at his best defensively? Which I do think Luka at his best defensively, given his size, is like pretty chill. I think he's just got to be consistent, and some of it could be a stamina thing too, how much they've asked him to do on offense. Like, I do think Luka's had stretches of his career where he's been fine on defense. Besides that, I mean, like, it'd be cool if his free throws percentage was higher. Like, that's kind of about it, because besides that, Luka's amazing. And he also got up to 10 free throw attempts a game last season because he was just more physical, backing guys down, that sort of thing. I do think we should see if Josh Green has another jump to get to as an offensive player. Some of this is definitely just on the jump shot, where, I mean, his percentages from three were good last year. It's more so a matter of the volume. And as far as his off-the-dribble stuff, I think there's been enough flashes of him doing something off the catch, even if it's just like a straight line drive dribble, or transition, or cuts, or just making little quick plays that might not result in an assist but keeps everything moving. And of course, he's good on the other end. I like Josh Green. It's more so just, where does the jumper get to? I do think Grant Williams can fit into this team like a glove, where he can screen for Luka or Kyrie, get some stuff happening on the short roll. Because, Grant, he's got a little bit of a handle. It's enough to where if he's got daylight, he can make the next play. He can attack a closeout. I think his corner three-point attempts are going to go through the roof on this team. It's going to be the most of his career. And also there's Seth Curry now where, I mean, on offense at least, sure, throw one of the best shooters in the league out there in lineups with Luka and Kyrie sometimes. Like, why not? And then there's Jaden Hardy, who did have that stretch last year where he was kind of a scoring machine, where he's got a step-back jumper that might not cover a lot of ground, but there's this, like, sort of craftiness to it that gets defenders off balance for a second anyway. But I do think he can make things happen with the ball, coming around screens, all that. It's just when you're Luka and Kyrie's teammate, there's going to be a ceiling on how much you're going to be allowed to do that. So look, I think this team, offensively, I think they project very highly. Just off the back of Kyrie and Luka or those guys, and you can stagger them to there's always one on the court and all that stuff. I just think that center position for him, it is what it is right now, man. I mean, we hope the best for Derek Lively. It's just expecting him to fix all their issues in the front court. Like, I don't think that's realistic. And then I do think they could still use another all-around wing. You do see where Josh Green's offense can get to. Grant can fit in. I said all this like 1 minute ago. So yeah, and of course the Western Conference is loaded, so that's fun for him as well.